Good afternoon, everyone. It's already a long session, so I hope I can try to make my presentation short. So firstly, I would like to give my thanks to the organizers, particularly to Fernando Cardoso for inviting me to be here in such an important event and to speak in this panel. So coming to the topic of this panel, financing for development and cooperation, I remember when I received the program from Fernando, I found there are several issues or questions you raised under this topic. So instead of picking one of the questions to answer, to prepare like what Alice did, I would rather to share with you China's case about financing African development. So what I'd like to share with you is about CADF, China African Development Fund. Maybe you have heard this, I'm sure you have heard this already. So this China African Development Fund has financed African countries through equity investment. As you know that China's economy actually is in a transition period from a commodity export-based economy to both commodity and capital export. So it has explored several different capital export models in the last decade. So this CADF was set up in 2006, particularly for African development under China Development Bank, CDB, and it has been independently operated. So the first $1 billion fund actually came from this CDB and followed by a $2 billion lent to CDB by China Foreign Reserve. So this fund actually is co-chaired by MOFCOM, Ministry of Commerce and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs with very strong policy function. So there are several investment models here. Actually, the first one is equity investment, meaning investment in the common shares of target entities or projects. And second one is quasi-equity investment in terms of preferential shares, convertible bonds, and some other mixed capital tools. And the third one is this fund is used as a fund of funds. That means a proportion of this CAD fund will be invested in other funds in Africa. And so what kind of enterprises or projects will really get this CAD fund? There are several categories. The first one is like Chinese enterprises or African enterprises. They contribute together to establish a joint venture for investment in Africa project. And also like Chinese-funded enterprises or Chinese participating enterprises registered in Africa which invest in projects in Africa. And also Chinese enterprises registered in China which invest in Africa. And those joint stock with projects enterprises with major assets in Africa but registration places in areas outside Africa. And also this CAD fund directly invests in African projects involving international financing institutions. And also it established funds to invest in African projects involving domestic and foreign institutions. So I would like to pick one of the enterprise who have received this kind of fund and how it works for development through its business work. So that is China African Cotton Development Limited is a company. This company actually was established in 2009 and is registered in Hong Kong and joint ventured by this CADF and also two China's domestic companies. One is cotton company in Qingdao, another one is a textile company in Qingdao in Shandong province of China. So the investment model is equity investment by this CADF and loan by CDB, China Development Bank. So in total, $35 million are involved. So the business model actually is a kind of a contracted model. In Chinese, we have a special term for this kind of model. We call this 公司加农户. 公司 means companies, enterprise, 加 plus 农户 household, farmer household. So it's a kind of contracting. So the company has conducted contracted planting, cotton purchasing, and processing in Africa. So there are 6 countries at present. Sorry, I just have a few slides, so I didn't use this PPT, just go through. So just give you some figures, like in Zambia, 60,000 farmer households have been contracted by the company. In Malawi, 60,000, Zimbabwe, 30,000, and Mozambique, 50,000. And for this company, they provide seed, provide fertilizer, pesticides, and also, of course, a technical assistant in the whole process of this, cotton production and processing. And apart from this farmer household, and also in Mozambique, there are 300 local workers employed by the company, by the small enterprises for processing, and 20 local management staff, and even 200 cotton brokers are involved in this whole process, and only they have 15 Chinese staff. That's the structure of this staff in Mozambique. And in Malawi, for local workers, 600, local management staff, 50, cotton brokers, 400, and Chinese staff, 24. In Zambia, 400 local workers, 60 management staff, 450 cotton brokers, and 25 Chinese staff. So we can see what kind of job opportunities it can create it in these African countries. And also this, the price for this seed cotton is about 3,000 yuan per yuan, is RMB yuan per ton as a production size, and it's about 9,000 yuan per ton in China. So all these ginning cotton, the processed ginning cotton, is exported to China. So these figures actually, from this figure, you can imagine what for the local people can benefit, to what extent they can benefit from this kind of cotton production and processing. And also there are some similar investments in Ethiopia. Like Ethiopia Leather Factory is different factory, is another enterprise is managed by Chinese women lady. It's also a joint venture company, joint ventured by DCADF and also Chinese company. So they also have 500 employed workers, and 50,000 livestock farmers benefit from this leather production. So from 2012 to 2013, this export value reaches 12.68 million US dollars. So that's the second company mentioned here. The third one is China's Sisal Farm, which I'm very familiar with because we have a lot of collaborations in Tanzania. This China's Sisal Farm is also joint ventured by the CADF and one China, Zhongnongfa China Agriculture Development Company. Is based in rural area in Morogoro, in Tanzania. And this enterprise now has ranked the second of the total 32 Tanzania enterprises in the whole country. And it has offered more than 1,000 job opportunities to local rural villages, and also they have assumed a lot social responsibilities. For example, they have collaborated with us to have been conducting a poverty reduction demonstration project in Tanzania, which is supported by International Poverty Reduction Center in China. So this project actually is to try to introduce Chinese experience in poverty reduction through agriculture production and farmer household level. So in this process, China's CISO Fund has played a very important role in coordinating, in facilitating, and also management, training, all kind of, steps of the project. So I just give you some, the facts or the practice of China, this kind of enterprise, not really going to do any, very sophisticated theoretical discussion, but the key point here is that this kind of investment actually, to a large extent, has significantly to reduce, or I should say avoid, those sovereign debts for development of that African countries. And although we know that this public investment cannot be entirely replaced by market-based investment, but still in many sectors, in many cases, this market-based investment can perform much better. So I stop here. Thank you.